Hello.
Good morning. I think I'm on. I hope you like that music.
Hello.
It's really beautiful. Good morning. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Fellowship of Laguna Beach. My name is Noreen Kukkonen, and I'm your worship associate this morning. We're deeply grateful that our fellowship is served by our caring minister who's here with us, Reverend Lee Marie Sanchez, who supports us in ways we can't even count. We also are very lucky to have Carole, our music director, who will be inspiring us with new songs today. And of course, the audiovisual technicians, Pam Fleming and Patrick State, who's learning the ropes. And we're really grateful. Kudos to all the dedicated individuals who share their skills with us in this spiritual undertaking. We're happy to be together with you this morning. Bob Marley's Redemption song served as beautiful gathering music this morning. It was performed by the Connie Mason siblings, led by their mother in this video. Beautiful family from Nottingham, England. They've received many music awards, as you can imagine, most notably Sheku, I believe, who's on cello in the video. He won the BBC Young Musician Award in 2016, the first time a performer of color has won that award. So they're very well known in Britain and hopefully soon in the whole world. They're beautiful. The song's lyrics call for emancipation, freedom. Redemption means being saved. And in this case, breaking free from the oppressive chains of slavery and hatred. By so doing, there's salvation from the chains of the past, as well as those of the racist present. Emancipate yourself from mental slavery, Bob Marley says. None but ourselves can free our minds. In other words, if others control what we think, then we will never be free to find the fulfillment in our lives. For the boy soldiers of Sierra Leone, whose story we watched in the film Journey from War to Peace, their burden of guilt for the injuries suffered by their victims created a seemingly hopeless divide of horror, loss, and hatred. Their minds and those of their victims were mental slaves to the horrendous events of their past. It seems almost miraculous that ultimately something good could come of such a horrible experience. There's much for us to learn on a personal level from this Sierra Leone tragedy. If we are to live up to our highest aspirations, genuine forgiveness should be a goal. I know it is for me. I grew up with my dad's big Irish family, some of whom made grudge holding look like a science. I love them all. They're a great family. But the Irish saying, we may forgive a slight, but we never forget, could have been embroidered on many of the family samplers. We all have our histories. How then can I and you let go of ill feelings when we have been wronged? And how, when we're the perpetrators of wrongs, can we make ourselves seek forgiveness for causing another person pain? For the offended, are there things that shouldn't even be forgiven? If we're to live up to our principles of affirming and promoting the inherent worth and dignity of every person, justice, equity, and compassion in human relations, respect for the interdependent web of all existence of which we are a part, shouldn't we try? After all, in a quote shared by Carole Warman, when we heal ourselves, we heal the next generation that follows. Pain is passed through the family until someone is ready to feel it, heal it, and let it go. Forgiveness is a topic that is complicated and subject to opinion and circumstances. It calls for an adult understanding of past situations that can no longer be changed, and using our power to change our attitude toward them. It is spiritual growth. In the end, I recommend a different Irish saying for our personal samplers that takes this into account. You've got to do your own growing, no matter how tall your grandfather was. This congregation is a welcoming one, open to all who are in accordance with our principles, mission, and vision. We unconditionally welcome any and all of you to our community of mutual caring and serious intent to grow as spiritual and moral beings. If you are guests who are visiting us today, or perhaps watching this video at a later date, we're happy to have you join us. Each Sunday, anywhere there is a service held in a Unitarian Universalist church, a chalice is lit. The chalice is the only symbol that we have in our religion. It reminds us that in each heart lives the flame of truth, bringing warmth and light, hope and inspiration to the human journey. Lighting our chalice on Sunday mornings is a reminder of that inner flame and of the need to nourish it and to share it with one another. If you have a candle at home, please light yours and join us. On the screen, you'll see our centering thought for today. Please read it along at home as we consider its meaning. What more have we to give one another than love and understanding? From UU Minister Reverend Kenneth L. Patton. In recognition of Women's History Month, the opening hymn for today is number 1023, Building Bridges. Its lyrics, sorry, distracting. Okay, its lyrics come from the women of the Greta Colin peace occupation against nuclear weapons storage in Berkshire, England. The demonstration started with a march in 1981 to protest the deployment of nuclear missiles to an airbase. When the march alone was not enough to get the missiles removed, the women began to stay at Greenham to continue their protest. The camp was active for 19 years, which is a really long time, and disbanded in 2000. The song's simple lyrics seek the harmony that can come from reaching across our divisions, as we do when we forgive. Carole?
Good morning.
Good morning.
I played this through for you once. Building bridges between our divisions, I reach out to you. Will you reach
That was really pretty. We really appreciate that you've tackled new songs for us today. I hope we hear more of this one and our closing hymn today. They're really lovely. We will be speaking our unison affirmation. As we gather for worship, let's take a moment to remind ourselves why we come together as a community. There's a short affirmation that sums up who we are and what we're doing here. I invite you to read these words with us. Please unmute yourselves. The words are on your screen. Cacophony can be a beautiful thing as long as the minds are in sync. May we be reminded
here of our highest aspirations
and
and
inspired
inspired to bring
our
our
gifts
gifts
of
of
love
love and
service
service
to the altar
altar
of
of
humanity.
humanity.
May we know once again
that
that we are not
We're not
slaves to
slave
beings,
beings,
but
but
connected
connected
in
in
mystery
mystery
and
and
miracle
miracle
to the universe, to this
to this
community,
community
and to each
and
other.
to each other. Love is the spirit of this congregation and service is its law. This is our greatest covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another. In our community, we make time each week to share pieces of our lives with one another. We do this because each person in this community has value. Each person's experience has meaning. If you are able, please share your joy or sorrow with us, with one another today. Shared and open. Some must be shared eye to eye or held in the heart. We make space each week for sharing, knowing the life and experience of every person matters, and together our lights shine better. We will move on to the offertory. Shared joy is a double joy. We give to remind ourselves how many gifts we have to offer. We give to remember that we are part of something bigger than ourselves. We give because we believe in music and sacred space. We give with the faith that together we have enough. We commit together to ensure the funds we gather collectively do a greater good for our world than they could have done alone. We give in love and hope. Please consider your donations to the ministry to allow us to continue. Being reminded that Annie perhaps had something to say.
Hi, Noreen. Actually, it's Michael that had a joy or concern.
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
Michael. I'm with the UU of the High Desert Society.
Many sources, including Christian teachings that call us to love our neighbors as ourselves. Consider this excerpt from the prayer of St. Francis that encourages us toward this goal. You will be muted for the prayer, but please follow with your voice or silently the words on your screen. The prayer of St. Francis. Lord, make me an instrument of thy peace. Where there is hatred, let me sow love. Where there is injury, pardon. Where there is doubt, faith. Where there is despair, hope. Where there is darkness, light. Where there is sadness, joy. For it is in giving that we receive. It is in pardoning that we are pardoned. There's nothing easy to say about forgiveness. I know that very well. The errors we make and those we are victimized by can create a kind of mental slavery that holds us down, and often our families with us. That really hit home with me as I prepared to speak this morning. People with far more authority than me call it complicated. I know that to be true from my personal experience. While probing the internet to find something to say to you this morning, I got an undeniable nudge toward making some situations right, or at least better in my own life. That's what we UUs are here for, after all, to pave a little more of the highway each day for our journey toward our highest aspirations. I hope you find the thoughts today helpful as you make your way. UU Minister Elizabeth Lerner McClay of the First Unitarian Church of Providence, Rhode Island, offers her congregation a lesson in forgiveness learned from her ancestral Jewish roots. In Judaism, the holy days call upon the faithful to confess to their wrongdoings and seek atonement with those that they have wronged. For me, personally, it makes sense because in this discipline, it's the person who errs who takes the first steps. If it's authentic contrition, it seems most able to achieve a true forgiveness that benefits both parties. In Judaism, the offender is urged to own up to their mistakes, find ways to change their behavior if they can, and apologize and ask for forgiveness. The religious community supports this effort and encourages reconciliation. But sometimes we aren't ready to forgive. We all have our personal timetables for giving and getting forgiveness. It may be too early and we need to spend more time with the idea. Plus, it's not easy to forgive or to release feelings of anger or anguish from a really big offense. And maybe it can't be done. But for those who come to accept the apology, I believe the serenity of a peaceful mind is a great reward. As UU Minister, the Reverend Matt Tittle of Houston suggests, forgiveness involves radical self-interest. In other words, we get more by forgiving. Forgiveness takes courage and vulnerability, and yet the ability to do so can be transformative. I offer you this morning a serious meditation, one that invites some earnest soul seeking and searching. Try to immerse yourself in it and perhaps think of past difficulties in a new light. The speaker is Jack Kornfield, an author, Buddhist practitioner, founding teacher of Spirit Rock Meditation Center in Marin County, and one of the key teachers to introduce Buddhist mindfulness practice to the West. He will give us guiding words and a video for our meditation today. He provides 3 reflections that address different roles we might have in the forgiveness process. The first is a selection of thoughts for the person who's done the bad thing, wrong thing. The second is for the person who is wronged. And the third are thoughts for the person who's not yet able to forgive. The meditation is 10 minutes long, so please let yourself sit comfortably, allow your eyes to close if you want, and your breath to be natural and easy. Let your shoulders relax and your eyes and face to soften. Open your mind and let your heart follow.
Here's the reflection. Follow along with your eyes closed. There are many ways in which I have hurt and harmed others, knowingly and unknowingly, betrayed them, abandoned them, caused them pain so many times. I remember these now. and feel the sorrows I still carry. And let yourself remember the ways you've betrayed, abandoned, harmed others. And feel what you still carry. And in the many ways that I have hurt or harmed you, betrayed others, caused you suffering, out of my own fear and confusion, out of my own pain and anger and hurt and misunderstanding. In this moment, I ask your forgiveness. I ask your forgiveness. Please forgive me. May I be forgiven. And as you remember and ask, feel the movement of the heart that's willing to ask forgiveness and perhaps to receive it. Even as we do this practice, the tears and the regret, all of those things may come. Now include yourself in the second direction, just as I have caused pain and hurt, suffering to others. So too, I've hurt myself, betrayed myself, abandoned my own deepest values and love. Just as I've hurt or harmed others, so too I've judged and betrayed myself in so many ways. I remember these now too. And let yourself feel all the ways that you have caused suffering to yourself, to your body and mind and heart, as you've caused sorrow to others. I remember these now too. And feel the sorrows you carry from this. And now, again, breathing gently, the same practice of forgiveness in the second direction. Just as I have hurt or betrayed or harmed others, so I have done so to myself. Betrayed and harmed myself, caused myself suffering in body or mind. So many ways, out of my own confusion and fear, out of my pain and frustration and hurt. And in this moment, I offer myself forgiveness. I hold myself with mercy and tender forgiveness for my own humanity, for all the ways that I may have hurt and messed up and caused pain. Breathe gently just now. I forgive myself. I forgive myself. And feel what it's like. The image from the Buddha is a mother holding her most beloved only child. To hold yourself with a tender compassion and forgiveness. All these ways, I hold myself with forgiveness and mercy. I forgive myself. And then finally, the third direction. There are many ways in which others have hurt and harmed me. We have all been betrayed. We've all had suffering and pain visited on us by others. Every one of us has been hurt. I remember these now too, the ways I've been abandoned, betrayed, hurt by others, and feel the sorrows I still carry. And let yourself feel and sense. And in the many ways that others have hurt me, betrayed, abandoned me, caused me pain, I remember now. To the extent that I'm ready, and this is a process that can't be hurried, to the extent that I'm ready, I turn my heart in the direction of forgiveness. To the extent that I am ready, I forgive you. I offer you forgiveness. I release you. I will not carry the pain of hating you in my heart. To the extent that I'm ready, I forgive you. And let yourself feel either the lightening of the heart in the forgiveness or the understanding that you're not yet ready to forgive. And so you know the work of the heart that is ahead of you. And keeping in mind these three directions, let yourself come back to this room and your eyes open.
It was, excuse me, it was an interesting image to talk of opening the heart. I think that was very pertinent, and I hope that that happened for you. Our closing hymn today is hymn number 22, another new one. It's called Open the Windows. And I chose it because your heart is a window. And it's a very cheerful song, which we probably need right now, but a very cheerful song about opening up to possibilities. So thank you, Carole, for learning this new one. I know that we'll love it. We start with verse number 2.
Hello. This is a new song, and I'm going to play one part of it that you will certainly be able to chime in on every time it comes around. And it's Open the Window, Let the Dove Fly In. And it goes like this. You don't have to sing right now, just listen. Open the window, let the dove fly in. Open the window, let the dove fly in. You'll hear that several times, so chime in on that if nothing else. And now here, I'll play an introduction first, and you will be singing this melody line a couple of times too. Here we go. Open the window, children. Open the window now. Open people. Neighbors, neighbors lock the doors, build fences so high. Open the window, let the dog fly in. See what's to discover on the other side. Open the window, let the dog fly in. Borders, borders round countries, borders round the sky. Open the window, let the dog fly in. The only border crossing is the border you and mine. Open the window, let the dog fly in. Some people have money, some people have none. Open the window, let the dog fly in. What's the use of money if your heart's gone numb? Open the window, let the dog fly in. This big old world is a great big mess. Open the window, let the dog fly in. Open the window, find peace and rest. Open the window, let the dog fly in. Open the window, children. Open the window, children. Open the window now. Open the window, children. Open the window, let the dog fly in. Open the window, let the dog fly in. Open the window, let the dog fly in.
Wonderful, Carol. Thank you so much. We extinguish our candle, our flame, knowing that its light illuminates the compassion in our hearts and lights the way to our highest aspirations. Our closing hymn is playing. We'll be singing at home, so please join in.
Let there be peace on earth and pleasant begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With earth as our mother, we are family. Let us walk with each other, perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my solid vow. To take each moment, live each moment in peace, eternally. Let there be peace on earth. Let it begin with me. Have a wonderful day.
Beautiful, Carol. Thank you so much. And thank you.